2 Off the Top presented by Wrestling Fans Discord. Here's your hosts, Skull, J-Train, and Shadow!
Hey guys, tonight it's just going to be me and Shadow. So it's just going to be a twosome instead of the threesome. So we're just going to go through and do our Fastlane predictions for the pay-per-view that comes out tomorrow night. So we're about ready to get started. Shadow, you got anything to add?
I'm just excited to get Fastlane underway. Should be a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to get this underway, especially with WrestleMania right around the corner. I mean, it is 3 weeks away, so it is...
Lots of implications.
There's a lot of things that can happen in this pay-per-view that could affect WrestleMania, so I'm very excited for it.
Yes, sir.
So let's start off with the women's tag match first. So we have Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax taking on Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. I don't know.
To me, this feels like just a filler match. It doesn't even feel like it really needs a place on the pay-per-view. This could be on SmackDown. Could be it's. There's no purpose for it. We all know that Sasha and Belair aren't gonna win because it make no sense. Because this is their main event at WrestleMania, right? This is the women's division main event.
I think
So,
they just are doing it to try and create animosity between Belair and Banks when they really didn't need to. So, this match did not need to happen.
no.
Nia
No.
and Shayna could have been facing off against someone else that actually is more deserving of the belts. So, but that being said, it's definitely going to be Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retaining. I don't see it any other way.
There's absolutely no way of Belair and Banks walking out a Fastlane champions. It's not going to happen.
I mean, it is WWE, so we do never know, but...
This is true, but I'm going to stick to this as just going to be a filler match within the pay-per-view to waste time. And to build a little more.
Do we think
Sasha.
Do we think that there's going to be interference in this, and you're going to see Tamina and Natalya come down, and maybe make it into a three-way, a triple threat?
That happens.
A triple threat for the title.
Then it could. I mean, it's like you said, it's WWE, right? They just throw cards together at last second. Thanks, Vince.
This could technically also be the pre-show on the pre-show.
Well, it could be as well. But if it's on the main show, it's going to be a filler, and I don't think there'll be interference. If it's on the pre-show, I like your theory there where there might be an interference. So, because then it could set something up for WrestleMania for the women's tag titles.
Right. I mean, definitely at Mania we're going to have the four-way match. Anyway, typically that's what happens at WrestleMania with the women's, is there's usually like a multiple team going for the title, so.
Yeah, well, let's just hope. Hopefully it's like a ladder match, because I enjoyed. It doesn't matter. Women's, men's. Ladder matches are always fun at WrestleMania to me. I just enjoy ladder matches.
They do cause some good spots.
I love spots with ladders. Great.
Alright, so let's move on to the next one. The next match that we're going to talk about is going to be the match that was recently added on Friday. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, I got to go with my boy. It's just the way this goes. Messiah to Messiah. It's got to be Seth Rollins. I think this is going to set up a good long-term story. But it's good to see that, Rollins isn't stepping right back into the main event spotlight after time away. So, I knew this was a possibility because didn't he just fight Cesaro not long ago?
Correct.
So I knew this was a possibility on the card. I mean, you'd have to be dumb not to see it coming. But again, this is another beginning of the night match on the card, and I still think Rollins is going to walk away on it as the winner.
This could be one of the matches of the night, though, because you have
I very well could.
Two great wrestlers going head to head, but I think that you're gonna have. I think Nakamura is gonna beat Rollins. As much as you
You
don't
think
like
that?
that, I think that's gonna
Yeah.
happen because they
I
want
mean,
to.
that's. I don't have to like it though. That's your opinion. You're allowed to have it, but I think you're wrong.
I think that we're definitely gonna have a good match here, and it's gonna lead to a longer feud. So
Yeah, I think it's gonna continue down the road, right? Past WrestleMania, it's gonna set up maybe a handicap match with Cesaro and Shinsuke versus Rollins, and maybe not even a handicap. Maybe Murphy comes back as the disciple, or there's a new disciple,
yeah,
right? We don't know.
Murphy was trying to come back, and Rollins pushed him away. So I don't know how well that's gonna work.
We wait and see. We wait and see. What's your predict? Like you said, Knox gonna win, but what do you think happens in this match that gives it the match of the night feel that you think is coming?
I just think that they both can have such good. They have good chemistry together, and it's gonna flow easily. Like it's gonna be hard hitting. It's gonna be constant. You're gonna see the big moves for both wrestlers. I just think that this could steal the show.
Very well. Like yeah, they're both excellent technical wrestlers, right?
Mm-hmm. So I mean,
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
so you have
Maybe the double count out.
you have Rollins for this one.
Yeah, of course. I had Rollins for this one.
Okay.
Always bet on black. Throwback to the back of the day.
So let's. This is going to lead us into our another title match for the night. We're going to go over to Monday Night Raw and have a rematch from this past Monday with Riddle and Mustafa Ali. I think we're going to see a title change here.
A title change.
I think Mustafa Ali is going to win the belt, and it's going to be the start of things to change for Retribution.
Mm,
Whether he leaves Retribution and it causes them to disband,
right.
or it gives them good momentum and starts building it back up because one, there will be fans in attendance at WrestleMania,
Mhm.
and I don't know how they're doing it going forward, but I think they were probably hurt the most about the no crowd era.
Well, exactly. It was easy. They were built to antagonize the crowd. Without a crowd, there was no antagonist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think Ali wins the belt because from what I've heard, there's not much high up on him right now. He's being disrespectful to the legends. I know it might be a work or shoot, like it's obviously something, but apparently it's not sitting right with a lot of people backstage. So I think backstage politics will play a part in him not winning this match. I could care less about either of them. I don't like either of them, to be fair. Like I did like Riddle, but he's been, bugging the crap out of me the last month or two. It's just I don't like the way his character's going.
Who, Riddle?
I mean, cool, he won the yeah. I just don't like the way his character's going. Like he started off strong, but now he's just kind of like, hey, I'm here, bro. It's just washed up to me.
I mean,
He's not doing anything that's catching my eye.
that is him. That's how his character's been almost the entire time he's been within WWE, whether it was NXT or the main roster. But
Maybe when it was NXT, because I really just paid attention to takeovers and stuff, that his character didn't bug me as much. But now that I'm seeing him on a weekly basis, it just annoys me.
all right, I do like the fact with his scooter lately. It's been hilarious. Him scooting around from place to place. So
I mean,
it's been pretty cool.
gonna come on a big scooter at WrestleMania then. But yeah, I again, I don't care for either, but I'm gonna go with Riddle winning.
Okay. So let's stick with Monday night over here, and now we'll move on to Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, I love it. This is probably one of the best highlights of Monday Night's got going for them right now, other than Alexa Bliss. Like this I don't want to say rivalry because it's not really a rivalry. It's more friendly competition, right? But between them, it's great. They're putting on like 20, 30-minute matches every Monday, and it's just hard hitting, go, go, go. Like this is what you tune in to watch. I I don't know. This one to me is a toss up. I mean, I want to say Drew because he needs the momentum.
So
Because we're good. What's that?
I was gonna say my only issue with this one is the fact that they already announced that Drew McIntyre has a match versus Lashley at
Right. They should use this as an implication for winner goes to face Lashley.
correct.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
instead
only
of the
that's the only thing I don't like about this. Um, this match is going to be unbelievable. Their last two meetings have been knockdown dragouts. They've been hard hitting the entire time. They've put on great matches, and I don't see anything different coming from this one here.
this exactly this to me is like you said for the other one being the match of the night. This is going to be your 4.5 match, 4.5 star match.
I
That's
I would love Sheamus to win this, but I just don't see it because Drew needs the momentum to go into Mania to have a chance
exactly.
to make you want to believe that he can beat Lashley.
Yeah, well, I still I still feel like Lashley got well the Lashley getting a title. We knew it was coming at some point or another, but I felt like there was like no story built for him. It was 1 week he did something, the next week he was champion. It was too close of a storytell for him to build up to a championship.
I don't know. He was dominating on with the U.S. belts.
He dominated Riddle for 6 weeks. Good for him.
He beat other people too. I mean, he's the one that injured Keith Lee originally. So
Yeah, you're right.
I think they just were building him up so much, and he had nowhere else to go with the U.S. belt. So the only logical sense was to put the next one on it or give him a chance at it.
Right, and the way he did lose the U.S. belt didn't really hurt him either. It was just kind of like a quick gone belt done.
Right, because it was a triple threat.
Right, it did make him look weak. That was the important part.
He wasn't the one that got pinned, so it didn't hurt his stock or anything, and it just kept everything going. And then the way he came out and used the Miz was just brilliant. But that's because of MVP, who has been nothing short of phenomenal since he came back last year.
Hey, yeah, MVP has just been great for WWE. Like when he first came back, I was like, "Oh God, another old timer here to do this and that." I think he wrestled 2 matches, and then he went into like a managerial role.
Well, he still wrestled. It just that wasn't his main focus.
Right, but I think they did it right with him. Like that's how you want to bring old guys back. You don't want them being the center case of the matches. But back to Sheamus and Drew, we got off topic there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
it happens.
It's gonna be Drew. He needs the momentum. Like, unfortunately, that's just the way it's gonna be, and Sheamus is just a victim to it.
Yeah, but
it's a great match. It's gonna be a great match.
It's gonna be a great match. I still think Sheamus is gonna look strong coming out of it. I mean, he's had great showings the last couple of weeks, and he looks strong, and his character is so good right now. He's so
you
constant.
can end this. You could give Drew momentum and not hurt Sheamus if this match ends in a count out.
Yeah, but you don't want to count out on a pay per view. WWE does enough screwy finishes.
I mean, we have seen what was it? A no contest Hell in a Cell, so it wouldn't throw me past to see a count out in this situation.
We don't like to relive that memory.
Yeah, well,
that's the one that we do not like to relive. I mean, so we don't like to remember that.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that one.
Stupidity.
So your final thoughts on this is that Drew is going to win this one, and I feel
Drew.
the same thing.
100%. 100% Drew for the momentum factor.
So let's move over to Friday Night SmackDown for this one. We're going to come up with Big E versus Apollo Crews for the IC belt. And I don't know. The feud between these two has just gotten so good the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Ever since Apollo changed and dropped the steps on him and injured Big E, it's just this whole feud has just taken it to another level, and it's just unbelievable.
I haven't really been keeping up with when it comes to this feud. I don't even know exactly what's going on with Apollo. So do you mind just filling me in on what his new
So
character is?
Apollo has gone back to his roots. He has gone back to his heritage, and he's a Nigerian prince. He's been wearing the white and the green for a semblance of the flag. But
Okay.
just if you have time, he was on Talking Smack yesterday, or this morning, I should
Okay.
say. You can go see his promo there. But
Okay.
if you go back and just even watch his promo work from SmackDown the last couple of weeks, it's been top notch. This
Is it
past
like a? Does it remind you of like Farouk back in the day? Like that kind of intensity? Because
he
you remember Farouk was like this before he built the nation, right? Like he was doing good.
yeah, it's very intense.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
this past Friday night, if you didn't watch it, was actually pretty good. They had Big E trying to find him. They were doing like a sit down interview on two separate parts of the Thunderdome.
Okay.
And then Big E was like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm going to find you." And got into a golf cart and drove across the across the baseball stadium. He walked out of the dugout, got in a golf cart, and just started driving, trying to find him.
Oh, that's great.
And they just started beating the hell out of each other. And then Apollo got into the cart and drove off. But it was so good, and they've just done everything to make this belt seem important again. So
Well, that's good. It needed it, right?
well,
Especially with the revamped look of it, they needed to bring back the importance of it.
well, I think they started doing that when Sami Zayn had the belt when he came back after being away for a while. Um,
Right.
I think he started to help bringing the focus back to it, and they just kept it going with this. So they definitely have now a legit second title, and it's not just a piece of jewelry for the people to wear.
Well, that's good, right? It's not like the NXT Tag Team Women's belts. Anyways, um, so I'm gonna say because
Wait! You're throwing a jab at a belt that was just created, and already has had a couple title defenses for it, and they have some lined up already.
it defeats the main purpose of why there's a Women's Tag Team Championship. But
So,
anyhow,
so you're blaming NXT for the
no,
way
no, no, no,
for the
no. I'm
way they're.
blaming
Hold on,
WWE.
you didn't let me finish. You're blaming NXT for coming up with something that they actually need, because they have legit 5 or 6 true women's tag teams, because the main roster doesn't know how to use their belts.
Exactly, I am, but I'm not blaming NXT. I'm blaming WWE as a whole for allowing this to even become an issue. Because those belts were just supposed to be defended on 3 shows, and I think I've seen it defended on NXT twice. In what is it, a 2 year span it's been out now, or a 1 year span?
The belts have been out for, I would say,
Almost 2 years, I believe.
maybe closer to 3.
Either way, the fact that WWE didn't utilize it how they said it was going to put NXT into that position to create that. I don't blame NXT at all. They deserve to have the championships to be able to defend and wrestle for. I just don't like how there's two women's, like, I mean, there's even what, two men's now, right? But to me, there's just tag teams everywhere. I'm tired of seeing tag team wrestling. Just rename the fucking company. Sorry for my language. And tag team wrestling. Like, that's all it is nowadays. You have 1 or 2 singles matches, the rest is filler tag team matches. I just get annoyed with it.
I don't know. I feel like you're describing AEW more than WWE.
I mean, they're not any better for it. They're not any better for it. And I will be the first to say that.
Because, I mean, this week on SmackDown, I think we had 2 tag team matches out of all the matches this week. And that's only because after one of them, another team came out and said that they were the number 1 contenders for the men's belt, and it led to another match.
I just feel like there's a lot of makeshift teams, and it's just getting annoying. That's all my jab was about.
I agree that there are a lot of makeshift teams, and that's the problem. That's why I think they need to combine the
men's division or women's division. It's just there's no point for like 2 different teams on 2 different brands to have championships. Like go back to like the early 2000s where like what was it called? The Undisputed Champion went on both shows. The tag team champions switch shows. Like there's competition. You don't need to have 2 divisions separating 2 belts. It's like it's the same crap. Just different shows and different colors. It's just not needed.
No, I agree.
But as long as Vince McMahon is in charge, we're not going to see the change. So, anyways, that went way off course. But yeah, I'm going to go because they want to push Big E. I still think like it's going to be Big E that wins, but I don't think it's going to be a clean finish.
So,
if they want to build Apollo up, it won't be a clean finish.
Well, they've done a great job building both of them up. But
they don't want to kill momentum, right?
Right. I just think that Big E's going to win, and it's going to be because probably Sami Zayn interferes. And it builds towards either a triple threat or a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania for this belt.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like I said, I haven't been paying much attention to this storyline, but I can see that WWE utilizing a triple threat for Mania because they want to fill up as much hours and spots as possible and let everybody get in because that's a money show for this year finally.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I can't wait. I'm excited for it. It'll be the first time.
Oh, I'm excited too. It's going to be great to hear the crowd back. I mean, I love that they pump sounds in for the Thunderdome, but I mean, we need some genuine reactions. You gotta hear some CM Punk chants, shit like that.
If only he was coming back.
But it's coming. Something like that's got to be coming. Probably hear a few AEW chants too, because there's those marks. But
anyways,
it is what it is.
Let's move on back over to Monday Night Raw for what I feel is probably the best feud that has been going on. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton.
Oh, that is undoubtedly the hottest thing in WWE right now. Because Bray has been gone
since TLC. We have not seen him for 4 months.
Right. I mean, I think we would have seen him back sooner. But given, like I said in the past, Bray has asked for time off. Bray just lost his friend. So I think that counted into. But it also set up this storyline, which we're going to talk about, right? Which is Alexa and Randy. Like, this is amazing. Obviously, you have to assume WWE is not going to let this get anywhere near physical.
Oh, it will.
Maybe an RKO. Maybe an RKO, but it's not going to be a match. I don't think it's going to be a match.
Oh, it might. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. WWE.
I hope it does.
WWE has always teetered the line whether they're going to do the intergender matches or not. But if you're going to do it with anybody,
it has to be these two.
What is that?
What's that?
Oh. My Alexa started playing music. Because I said,
nice. Yeah, awesome. I was like, what is going on?
I didn't know. I just heard music. I was like, where is it coming from?
Oh, let him in. Yeah, but
And
if WWE is going to go with the intergender, like you said, it has to be these two.
right, because I think
Randy's sick enough to do it, and Alexa's crazy enough to do it.
correct.
Right? And that plays on their characters well enough. But I do think, for some reason, because of it's Peacock's first pay per view, if you will, that they're not going to allow it. They're not going to like it. So I feel like this might hit maybe an RKO. Like there's going to be a couple spots, and then the music, everything's just going to go dark, and Bray's back
I don't know.
because they need Bray to come back now. The story between Alexa and Randy is great. Don't get me wrong, but you're setting up something for Mania. We're 3 weeks out as of what, Sunday or today? As of today, we're 3 weeks out
As of today, we are 3 weeks out.
because it's two-night event. So we're 3 weeks out as of today. You need time to build up more between Bray and Randy. Necessarily, it might not be the Fiend that shows up. It might not be Bray that shows up. I feel like they're going to circle back to that other Orton.
So, my thoughts on this is you're gonna have Alexa and Randy actually fighting. I think we can have a finish, but it'll be because of something that happens with the Fiend. I don't necessarily think we see the Fiend
Right.
because they do want to tease it, because there are a lot of rumors and speculation that he's going to have a different look, and they don't want to.
I mean, naturally he should, right? I mean, he got burned.
Right. So I don't think that they want to do that for now, and they'd rather save the reveal of the new look for WrestleMania.
I think they'd be smart too, but they have to start the head games with Fiend being back.
Correct. And I think it starts tomorrow night, and then we see more on Monday with Alexa and her Pandora's box.
Right. Or, even better yet, we don't even see him come back tomorrow night. And this goes match to match, and it ends with some kind of craziness. And then Bray comes back Monday, which is more feasible, potentially, for a pay-per-view. To make people tune in Monday night.
Right. So that's why I'm saying I don't think we see him fully. I think we see something where, like, the music hits, or she does the box, and she finishes the tune, because every week that she's done it, the first week she did it, she said, bring him back. The next week she did it, she went through the second part of it and says, not yet. So she could do the third one, and then everything goes black, and then she's changed her outfit into the other way, and then she beats Randy, and it leads to that where more speculation that he'll be back Monday night. So
that's crazy, right? Like we could sit here and theorize where this is going, but I don't want to even call the winner, because I think this one's going to be just complete, Chris Angel mind freaking you out this entire match.
I think Alexa wins. I think we're gonna have a winner, and I think she's gonna get it.
I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy this, because this is what I live for on the pay-per-views.
I enjoy everything with the Fiend and Alexa Bliss.
Oh, well, I'm a huge Fiend fan, and you know that. So with Alexa coming and being part of that and everything, it's excellent for me. I'm enjoying every bit that Bray. Apparently, Bray's had a lot of hand in this as well, though, with this storyline.
Oh, he's been all over it. Even if he's not there, he's still doing it. Like,
I'm pretty sure Bray is like one of the only people that have a strong creative freedom in WWE right now.
I can agree with that. I mean, Drew McIntyre, he's come out and said his promos aren't scripted. He can say what he wants in them. I'm sure that's the same with Roman, and I'm sure it's the same with the people that they've trust. So, I mean...
Right, like Seth, Roman, right. McIntyre. So, guys that can carry their torch.
I feel like WWE has gotten a little bit more lenient with that lately. So that's a good thing, because they see that it can help with everything that's going on. But...
I think they've done that because AEW that's one of the draws to AEW, right? They have a lot of creative freedom.
Correct.
So WWE is loosened up, so that way people stay. But Who knows? We just watch and see, right? We're just marks that watch it.
Oh man, sorry, I'm watching a Rangers game and Zibby just.
I got the Leafs game on too, so Saturday hockey, guys. Sorry, but we're just fans of hockey as well. Love wrestling, but we are hockey fans.
All right, and this will bring us to our last match of the pay-per-view, as well as the last one we're going to discuss: the Universal Championship of Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, with the special enforcer. I believe it's Edge. I didn't finish watching SmackDown yesterday, but that's what I have read. So, yeah. As much as I don't want this to happen, I think it's going to lead to a triple threat at Mania. I would rather just seen Roman versus Edge at Mania, but I think Edge's involvement in this is going to cost Bryan the belt, and it's just going to lead to the triple threat.
Either going to cost Bryan the opportunity and turning into a triple threat, or Bryan is walking out champion and Roman's got to get a rematch so it becomes a triple threat. It's one of those two circumstances. There's no and if buts about it. It's either Roman drops the title to Bryan and it sets up a triple threat because Roman wants his rematch bullshit, or it's going to be Edge screws Bryan from winning and Bryan tries to get in that match for the next 2 weeks. And then the go-home show, it's, yeah, you're in.
I think
you know what I mean?
I think they might have a setup where he would have to beat Edge in order to get into it. But then that would hurt Edge.
Right.
Into the
so
match.
I wouldn't mind. Again, I'm not a big Roman Reigns fan, but I love the work he's doing. And I don't really care for Daniel Bryan. He's hit his peak. He's just kind of an over-the-hill guy now that's sticking around because he's got unfinished business. Then you have Edge. Yeah, he's over the hill. He's retired, but he came back with a purpose. He's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. And he's a Canadian. So, he's a Canadian hero. But I don't care about this Mania match or Fastlane match. I want to see Edge win because I feel like he wants to go out on his terms, which is fair. And Bryan wants to go out on his terms, which is fair. But Roman is still carrying the torch of WWE. So I truly believe that Daniel Bryan walks out of Fastlane. I voted differently in our polls because I just in my brain. But in my heart of hearts, I think Daniel Bryan walks out of Fastlane champion, and Roman Reigns invokes his rematch at WrestleMania, throwing him in with Edge.
All right. I mean, you went on a whole tandem there with everything about you.
Yeah.
How you hate Daniel Bryan and Edge, but that's all right.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I'm tired of seeing. I gotta be. I've said it in the past. I hate how Goldberg came back, right, and won belts. So I got to be fair and keep my critique across the board with old timers. Just the way it's got to be.
I don't know. It's different for me. Edge is not like Goldberg. Edge was forced to retire. Goldberg has just stuck around.
Right. Yeah.
And
exactly.
Daniel Bryan is just as good now as he was 10 years ago. He's not over the hill. He can still do it. He's still a safe worker. I just think I don't know. I think it's his time to win the belt again. But I just don't think he's going to get it over Roman.
But my question...
I think if he gets it, they get into a triple threat at Mania and he wins it at Mania.
Okay, but then I have to ask, why the build-up for Edge then?
It's a conundrum. It is.
I don't know. You can't build up Edge that way. It's like a roller coaster that you're excited to do as a kid. You get all the way to the top, and it's just a little drop. You can't. You're screwing someone out of a WrestleMania moment either way here.
I don't think Edge is going to win it if it's just him versus Roman, though. you can't do that to Roman.
Yeah, it's tough.
And that's the
I
problem.
think any
Like
I think any three outcomes is tough.
that's
Well, I
why
mean, retaining isn't really tough, but
no, the outcomes are if it's a triple threat, you have either Daniel Bryan or Edge pin one of them two, and Roman doesn't factor in the pin, so it keeps Roman strong.
right,
He can claim that he gets his rematch because he
he
never
never lost
he
it.
would never lost it, and that you have that where it still keeps Roman up, but it's just I don't know. There's just
I don't either.
it's tough.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't in a few situations right now. But I guess we'll see what the play out comes tomorrow, right?
Right.
With Fastlane.
Tomorrow's going to make a big difference in decisions on what happens for the next 3 weeks.
If I take anything away from this is if you're an avid fan of either of these men that are in the match tomorrow night, I advise you watch SmackDown for the next couple weeks because I feel like this is not just over tomorrow night.
No.
But it's not over tomorrow.
I 100% agree with that.
There's a storyline building for something.
And SmackDown has been the better show out of the two. I mean, Monday Night Raw has been good in segments. I mean, R-Truth this past week was hilarious. But
R-Truth is amazing. Don't even care.
But there's just so much going on between both brands right now that there is something that you can enjoy
Fight.
when you watch. So
right. Well, here's something since you brought up R-Truth. Remember when he was K-Quick and he was a tag team with Road Dogg?
Yep.
We were talking about that the other night, me and a couple buddies, and it was just great to reminisce on, how long Ron Killings has been around and being relevant. Like, he's just great.
People forget that he was K-Quick. Because he's been R-Truth for so long.
Yeah, and then he was Ron Killings. He was his actual name in Impact. I think Impact really saved his career, though, after WWE booted him. Because it gave him a new lease on who he was as a wrestler. Made him work harder.
Sometimes people need to leave to get better. Just look at Drew.
Christian Cage.
Yeah.
Still sucks that he went to AEW because I would love to see him factor into WrestleMania season at least, but
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know.
I can't blame the guy. He wants a world title push. WWE won't give it to him, so.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's going to get that there.
Fair enough.
But, I mean, I don't want to talk about them because people feel that I just bash them instead of giving them praise on things. So
all right,
I just rather.
So that's going to wrap up our Fastlane predictions. But I want to talk about what happened at AEW. The ending
to Revolution.
Oh, yes.
Where
Gilbert
showed up.
We have touched on WWE. Yeah, where Gilbert showed up, exactly. We have finished our predictions for WWE, but overall, we watched it together. The match itself, what would you give it? Not the ending, just the match itself.
I don't know. It wasn't my type of match. I tried to sit there and enjoy it. It just, I don't think, it's supposed to be an exploding barbed wire match, right?
Right.
So every time they're supposed to touch the ropes, it's supposed to go off. How was it not? What did they do? Disable the one side when they went to the one side where the mine was?
Yeah, I remember you talking about it while it was live, and you were quite disappointed with the fact that the rope. I think all of us were.
Moxley used the rope. He was holding the ropes.
Yeah.
If it's they should know. They should not use it.
Yeah, I think
it is what it is. It was a great match. It's just it's not my cup of tea. AEW does things that I don't like. They do things I enjoy. Like
Exactly.
I thought the Sting cinematic match was good.
That was epic. Like just the way it was put together. Like the match was okay,
The
but the
way
way
it
it was
was
put
done
together.
was amazing. But there was things that could have been done better for it. Like they showed,
Exactly.
like the way that they showed um, Darby falling. Like you saw everything. Like they're not. You shouldn't have seen everything. Like it's just certain things they do. I agree with. I don't like how they're when they do a tag match. There really is no rules. It's almost like a tornado tag match rule for every single match they do. They don't.
Yeah, well, the one tag team thing they do right though is that Royal Rumble thing.
Oh, the Casino Royale tag
Yeah,
was
I love that concept.
amazing. That was great.
That concept was
I
amazing.
was so involved in that match throughout the entire show. It was unbelievable. That was probably my favorite match of the night. Like overall.
That's one thing they've done right is that concept is just. If I could see it in different promotions as well with my other favorite wrestlers, I think it would be great. But it's an AEW thing, and it works, and it draws people in, right? Because you could have potentially, like we've seen it, right? 2-on-1s and stuff like that. Like, I just like it.
I didn't like the fact that they brought in what was his name? Ethan
Jack
Page.
Campbell with a shutout. Nice.
I didn't like how they brought in Ethan Page from Impact for the ladder match, and then he lost. Like
Yeah, that made no
that's
sense
a
to me.
big free agent signing. How do you not give him? And don't even get me started on the stupid Sonic ring hanging from the damn ceiling. AEW needs to stop focusing on comments made about WWE. They need to stop. They need to focus on doing what they need to do and stop taking the cheap shots because all it does is make them look petty and second rate.
Whoever's listening to this isn't the first time he's ranted about this. This is something we hear about daily
It's
when we bring up AEW.
it's
But
my opinion on it. I think that
but there's nothing wrong with
I
it.
think
I'm
that
not telling you.
it makes them look second rate. It makes them look at like a TNA 2.0 and it just does
Well,
not
they're
make
bringing in
them
old
look
stars like
it doesn't make them look professional. That all they do is rag on how WWE does things. The brass ring. Like it's just
yeah.
like come up with your own things. Show what you're supposed you when you started, you said you were the alternative to WWE. You have been nothing but that. You have not been the alternative. You run the same things and it just looks second rate compared to what WWE does. Yes,
Right.
WWE has stupid storylines. They do stupid shit. I will be the first one to tell you that. But
Yeah.
what WWE does good and what AEW does good, it's great for both businesses. Just stay within your business. Like WWE doesn't go and take
Really?
shots at AEW every chance they get. And if they say something and people take it as that, it's like everybody jumps on them.
Yeah, that's the marks that are jumping to conclusions.
So it's like
Um,
just do what you
if I,
need to
if
do.
I,
Build up your
I
company.
enjoy AEW. I enjoy AEW. I enjoy WWE. My theory with AEW, it's not competing with Raw and SmackDown, dude. There's no chance. It's competing with NXT, and it's not doing well. Pay per view wise, maybe, but NXT is the bar at the moment because until they can actually prove they're 2 years in now to AEW officially.
AEW will be there. Yeah, I think it's 2 years in October.
2 years or they're going into the. It's either 2 years or going into their third. Either way. Um, yeah, I just don't think it's on par with Raw and SmackDown yet. I think it's more of an NXT battle right now.
And I don't necessarily think it's on par with NXT on a weekly basis. Yes, they have their great events, but they also do a lot of events. Like this last week, they did the St. Patrick's Day Bash. Like
Until
they finally had a women's main event, Britt Baker and Rosa. Like finally, they showed some focus on
that
the
was good
women's
though.
division. Like
That was a good match.
you have so many women stars, and they barely get any time on Dynamite. Like it's just, I don't know. don't
It
know.
is what it is, right? I mean, now that live crowds are going to become a thing again, hopefully, we're going to see some envelopes being pushed. Because somebody's got to get the head ahead of here, right? And rating wise, you can. There's so many ways to dictate ratings, man.
So, NXT is most likely moving to Tuesdays,
Right.
starting after WrestleMania. It has not been announced yet, but that's everything that's been reported.
Right.
That's when we will truly see what each brand is capable of in regards to the ratings. So, yes,
The ratings are easy to manipulate.
NXT will now be going against AEW Dark and also Impact on those 2 nights.
Yeah. Which is good.
Which is fine.
Unless you're a mark for all three, then you're kind of shit out of luck.
Well,
but-
I mean, AEW is on YouTube, so the Dark's on YouTube, so you can watch it whenever. It's not live; it's all taped results anyway, so you can always get the results beforehand. It's just, I think that they need to be on separate nights so people can actually get invested in each storyline, and then we can see the true ratings for those 2 shows.
Kenny Omega planted this seed, though, but I still feel like there's more to that story with AEW wanting to work with WWE. I feel like there's a little bit more behind the scenes that we're not aware of.
Oh, like the fact that I feel WWE actually owns AEW and was doing this from the beginning to build a war between 2 brands?
It's either that or Tony Khan and McMahon are in bed together, so to speak, right?
Yeah. That's what I feel.
WWE might not own them, but I feel like it's more of a, hey, do me this big favor, I'll throw you a few billion. They need to spark interest back, right? They're trying to reinvent wrestling again.
And I heard something today on one of the YouTube channels that I follow with the NFL new TV package starting in 2023. Fox will not be doing any more Thursday night football games.
That potentially SmackDown moving back to Thursdays?
Potentially move it back to Thursdays because there's more viewership on Thursdays than Fridays.
Because I'm tired of Friday night SmackDown. To me, growing up, it was always Thursday. Or Tuesday if you were lucky.
Originally, it was Thursday Thunder.
Right.
And then WWE countered that and put SmackDown on the same day.
Right.
But, yeah.
I'm also not.
So,
I'm also like
starting in
15 years younger than
2023,
me.
starting in 2023, there's a potential that SmackDown's going to move back to Thursdays.
I mean, we could hope.
We could, because then we don't have to worry about. Then we could do the shows on Friday nights instead of Saturdays.
Which makes my life a lot easier. But we're talking about 3 years from now. So.
But
Or 2 years.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
I think that's it for everything.
I think we covered AEW, we covered Fastlane. Yeah, so our next podcast will have to be on a Friday because after SmackDown because WrestleMania is a 2-day event.
Right. So it'll either be right after SmackDown, which will be on April 9th, or we could do it on possibly the Thursday before SmackDown and just not have all the matches that we would be able to predict. So.
I mean, we could, but we could do the Thursday. That way we're not so, like, we can just make predictions about what's going to happen at Mania because I feel by that Thursday we should know everything anyways.
Right.
All they're doing is closing out the go home for that Friday. So there shouldn't be too much more to happen. But I'm sure we'll know. You guys will know when we know because we'll post it on Twitter.
So just be on the lookout for our next podcast. You could I will be posting this on YouTube as well, so you can always like that and subscribe. We do have our Wrestling Fans Discord. It will be attached to the YouTube post that I do as well. So if you're interested, just please join it up. It is a good time. We all have our opinions. We have fun. And we just keep everything entertaining.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
I'm sad. I thought it was fine.